You are listening to the Green Living Chat podcast, brought to you by Kamath Solutions in Ghana. I'm your host, David. Here, we discuss emerging environmental issues in and around the world. We use this platform to promote environmental-related projects. So stick around with us. Here we go. Welcome to another episode of the Green Living Chat podcast. Today's episode is the maiden episode of our new segment, Industry 5.0. This is where we have discussion with people in the industry to talk about how we can reduce waste and how we can prevent certain materials and products from becoming waste. And to kick this off, we start with the packaging industry. And today I have with me the founder of Industry 5.0, Michael Rather, and the innovation and marketing manager of Smurfit Kappa, Kaprhál. Our discussion covered how we can apply sustainability in the packaging industry, and we discussed about the role of the industry, consumers, and the government in improving our recycling models. We also talked about alternatives that can be considered in enhancing recycling and upcycling, and what recycling actually means. Grab a coffee and let's get into this episode. I hope you enjoy it. Welcome, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining me on the Green Living Chats podcast today. Thank you so much for coming. It's very early where you are, and thank you for waking up on a Saturday morning. Welcome.
Thanks a lot. Nice to be there.
Yeah, for me as well.
Just so we could get familiar with who we are talking to, we have Michael Rather here. Maybe you can just briefly introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Michael. I am generally the founder of Industry 5.0, and my aim is to build a wasteless world. You can hear my previous podcast on Kamath, so I think there is no need for more introduction.
Good morning. Hello, my name is Kaprhál, and I'm coming from the paper industry, from the packaging industry, and my responsibility is to make our customers happier because they have sustainable packaging, tailor-made packaging, and in general packaging that helps them save money, save resources, sell more, of course, and minimize the risk.
I really appreciate your time, gentlemen, for coming on this show today. So it will be very interesting for us to know, Michael, I have been talking to you for a long time. And so I would like Jan to really give us a little bit introduction of how he arrived in the packaging industry, specifically in his company. I believe it's a very interesting story. So Jan, what happened? How did you get here?
Yeah, I came to Smurfit Kappa 8 years ago, and the way or the journey how I get there was a bit different, maybe because I have a degree from Czech Technical University. I am originally a structural engineer, so I am able to build a house, build a road, design a road, and after graduation, I worked in that industry. I designed roads. After I decided that it's not enough for me just sit in the office at the computer and design. I wanted to change it. I wanted to have hands on it. So I decided to go on site. So I became from the designer, I became a site manager or construction manager, and I physically built the roads and structures. But in the recession, I decided to leave the industry. It was like 2010, 11, and change the job. I was not happy about that because I spent many years by learning things that I needed in the construction business. In that time, it was somehow needed to change, to switch. And then at that time, I was asked by HR of Smurfit Kappa whether I wouldn't like to join. So I joined them in 2013 as a design manager, head of the design department. And through time, I changed my job. I became experience center manager because I used my knowledge to build that facility, the experience center, one of the I think 25 experience centers in Smurfit Kappa, and I became a manager of that. And then I became responsible for marketing and innovations in the region of Czech Republic and Slovakia. And here I am,
Yes, here
sitting
you
here
are.
with you and talking about innovation and sustainability, and with Michael, of course.
Jan mentioned this center. If you enter their company, no matter when, you enter a hall and there is a plane made of paper. The next
Wow.
time you enter it and there is a car full size made of paper. You enter it before Christmas and there is a forest made of paper made out of trees. Every time you enter the company in the hall, the designers not sell you box. The box is some, everybody knows they have boxes, but you enter it and they open your eyes because you see what everything can be made out of paper. And this made me, we know each other maybe longer than this story because Jan was in touch with logistics as well. Probably there was the very first touch, probably. I'm not sure myself. But we are discussing, and all the time for me, it is a pleasure to visit because you find something really which open your eyes. And it's great about. So it is just what means experience center for me visiting Smurfit Kappa factory. It's this. It open your eyes.
Yeah, indeed. And actually, Michael, you have to visit us once the doors are open,
Yeah.
because there is a 4-meter high robot in the lobby.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
What is behind these designs? What is the concept?
Just innovation, because we have an open lobby there, and as Michael said, we want to impress the visitors, not only customers but also suppliers, also media, whoever comes. And why not to utilize the space by putting a statue or a structure or whatever in that space? And we wouldn't be good marketers if we wouldn't use a corrugated, the material we are familiar with. So we talk to designers and, hey, what to change, what to add, what will be the next structure. Now we have a robot, we had a plane, we had a
Wow.
car, we had a forest.
You have a planet. So
Yeah.
We had a planet, yeah.
this is the planet which was made for exhibition, but at the end I asked for it, and Smurfit Kappa was so nice to give it to me. And since then, everybody who enter Industry 5.0 office, the first what he or she see is a planet made out of cardboard.
Yeah. I should get
Michael,
more products in.
I have to complain here. Because I don't see the Smurfit Kappa tag on it.
Yes. Where are you hiding it?
It's here below, but to be honest, I don't see it as well. But no, sorry.
Yeah, over there, Smurfit. Yeah.
Oh
You
yeah. Yeah, I saw something.
It's
Yeah.
there. Don't. I promise it to be here, so it is here.
Okay, perfect.
All right. So let's get to know some of your products now. I mean, I didn't know your company initially, but when I got to see the website, I was just going through and looking at the products that you guys have, variety of products for packaging different things. So can you tell us more about some of these products? What are some of the clients that you work with? What goes into the designing? Which materials do you use? Let's get a little more to know what Smurfit does.
In general, in terms of products we deliver to our customers, we can do almost anything in terms of packaging. But of course, we have a few special applications or special innovative designs, new campaigns, which I can talk about. And firstly, I would mention the very latest product, and it's called Top Clip. Top Clip is packaging for can multipacks. As you know, The common way how to pack a six-pack is to use a plastic foil or plastic rings. This is the most used type or way of how to pack cans in the world. And we don't like it. Not because it's plastic, but we don't like it because it's single-use plastic, which very often ends up in the ocean. You know, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which is enormously huge. I have heard it's like 3 times France, something like. It's huge, and 99% of this patch is plastic, and we don't like it because we as a humankind produced waste, and we want to change it. We wanted to change it, so we came with an innovation. Why not to change the plastic packaging for the paper-based packaging, which is fully biodegradable, recyclable, and renewable. And on top of it, if it gets out of the recycling system, out of the collecting system, out of the sorting system, basically, if we as consumers just throw it away instead of a bin, it dissolves in the water within 8 weeks. So we came with Top Clip, which is fully paper-based packaging that covers the top of the cans. You can carry the multi-pack. You can grab just one can. It withstands also the humid environment, the condensation which appears on the cans. It's great from the marketing point of view because the top side is fully printable. You can use it. It saves up to 30% of carbon footprint compared to plastic foil. It has no glue in it. It's completely 100% plastic free. So, and it's just a simple sheet of corrugated which is applied automatically on the cans. So this is the world's, I would say, innovation. We can deliver, we can supply, we can bring also the automation. We have 3 ways how to apply it on the cans: slow, mid-speed, and the high speed. So this was the Top Clip. Another very recent innovation is I would call it Safe and Green, which is the name how we promote it. Another example of replacing single-use plastic, because fruit and vegetable is mostly sold in plastic trays.
Yeah, mostly.
And these trays are again single-used. So we try to replace them by paper-based trays called punnets, which is again machine erected, machine glued. They need to be glued to be able to close them. Another benefit for the nature, for the environment, to reduce the plastics. In general, we try to replace the plastics in application when it makes sense. Where is the logic behind? So we initially don't want to replace, let's say, PET bottle, because we can't at that moment, because the paper doesn't have such an ability, such a capabilities as plastic has. We are not against plastic because we know that the plastics has a lot of advantages which paper or some other materials cannot have. So the barriers, I have to say the costs, because the plastics are so cheap, which is the reason, or one of the reasons, it's so widespread all over the world. The shape ability, you can make any shape out of plastic, which is not that easily possible with paper or corrugated. But in general, we very often replace EPS, polystyrene, which is, compared to paper, way expensive in a way of the whole costs in the whole supply chain of our customers, because the forms, the molds, it's very expensive. Then you transport and store air, basically, because it's lightweight, and you have to store them, transport, compared to corrugated, it's a lot of costs. And at the end of life phase, the end of life scenario, it's a nightmare for polystyrene, because it's very difficult to recycle. It's not able to use it for the same application. for the consumer, in a way that I receive a parcel, for example, full of polystyrene parts. It's a nightmare to get rid of it, and I don't like it. It's not monomaterial solution, which should be the way to deliver, to make, to think about monomaterial solutions. But these were just few examples. But I would like to just generalize what we do for the customers. We need to know their supply chain. And once we know their supply chain, which means we pack it here, we unbox it here, or our customer, the end user, unboxes it in here. We know every single step in between. So distribution centers, warehouses, retail, whatever. If they describe the whole supply chain and we know the conditions, distances, way of transport, humidity, temperature, we can define, we have the capabilities to define the requirement of such a supply chain, and we know what the box should survive in terms of the bare loading capacity. And that's the moment we as a paper and packaging experts step in, because if we have the limit we have to reach, we know which papers and how the papers should be used in the corrugated to design a box that is capable of surviving such a supply chain, not to overpack, not to underpack, just be on a little bit on the safe side, but we very precisely what the BCT level for that supply chain should be. And this is always a discussion with the customer, because the
Yeah.
customer many times says we need a box that has the BCT level of, let's say, 5,000. And then we go through our process, our tools, and say, well, but the supply chain you have just described us says that the box should be just 3,000 kilonewtons. What is the difference of the 2,000? Because the 2,000 kilonewtons, this is the space where you can save your money. This is the space where you overpack for no reason. So either you have the reason, which you haven't told us, or you wanted to be on the safe side so much because maybe your previous supplier wasn't able to deliver a box of 3,000, so you told him 5,000, and his worst box will reach at least the third 3,000. So a lot of discussions, and customers say, well, how can you predict that? Yes, we have a very sophisticated tools.
What I like about Smurfit Kappa is generally they are proposing solution nobody asked for, but everybody loves, like a box which turn in a, if you deliver a food for animal, for cat, then it turn in a tray in which the cat can live or play with. And this is exactly, I love IKEA packaging because it's so simple, straight, and so on. But there is one issue which I point IKEA for many years, for 10 years already. Please put on the box a manual how to fold and made out of it another table. It's huge. Why not? It's so simple. Jan knows better than me that it will be such a simple point just to make few lines on it, or even the bending.
Exactly.
Easy. And I would love to. I do not want to take care and throw it away in a garbage immediately after I unpack the bed. I will make a side table out of it. And that's the point IKEA is still missing. But I love it with Jan. And he did not mention that because they have so many of those.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. This way, or this kind of added value is specific for the e-commerce. But of course, not only e-commerce, but in e-commerce channel, it has or makes sense to have it, because in the moment the end user or the consumer unboxes the packaging, he has already purchased the product. He has already paid for the product. So the box is not about increased sales or to convince him to buy. It's about the resale, the repetitive order, the repeat order, and maybe more about, not about sales, but more about the loyalty, the customer loyalty, how to bond the customer with the brand. And if you have two examples, just unboxing a brown box and unboxing a printed box, a communicating box, which is not only just the brand, but also the sustainability benefits. You could link your customer directly to your marketing channels like Facebook, LinkedIn, the one with the square pictures, how it's called. I don't
Instagram?
remember. Instagram, yeah. And now you see immediately, I don't use it so often. So communicate with the customer, show him another product, involve him in the customer community, for example. One of our customers, which is selling products for kids, has a huge community of customers or followers, or how to call them. And on the packaging, they have the links to the YouTube channels, to Twitter, to Facebook channels. And even before our meetings, our innovation meeting, I checked all these channels, and I was shocked. I was shocked because our task was to come up with an idea. We have a list of ideas what to do with the box after unboxing, which is exactly the second life of the box Michael was talking about. And we had, let's say, 8 ideas on the list. And I checked their YouTube channel, checked the Facebook channel, and was shocked, keep my mouth open, because 6 out of these 8 ideas was already there or were already there. So it was like, wow, our ideas are screwed because they already know them. So we had to come with new ideas. And I remember it's not only about the loyalty and the kind of make customers happy, and not only about individuals. I remember a project. I think it was in Holland, in Netherlands, when we delivered our boxes to non-government organization, which were shipping food and medicals to shelters, refugee shelters, I think. So they used these boxes, and we, in advance, we thought about what about to give another life, another function to these boxes, not only to deliver these products. I mean the food and the medicals, the pills. So our boxes were made in a way that once unboxed, these refugees can make a furniture out of them. A
Wow.
stool, a table, a wardrobe. So they used it 100% and it helped them.
It just has this idea of, these ice cream where you can just eat the ice cream and after just chew whatever thing that comes with. So it's nice to have packaging that can be used for something. So as soon as you just take it out, you're so expectant to craft it into something else. I love this idea. Just a quick one. A bonus bit of this conversation where we discussed how we can improve recycling in the packaging industry is available on all podcast platforms. Why don't you check it out after you finish listening to this episode? Now let's get back into today's conversation. But Jan and Mike, I really want to get your mind on this. The packaging industry right now, currently, I can say this confidently, that has been attacked in so many different ways when it comes to sustainability, because all this sort of pollution that we see in the oceans, whether food, plastics, paper, glass, whatever, is just because of the problem that comes with recycling and also littering and all that. So the packaging industry has a very huge question mark when it comes to selecting materials and all that. I know that from what you're saying right now, it looks like you guys are putting a lot of efforts into trying to, find other users, one, use sustainable materials, and then also having recycling in mind. But then can you highlight what your company does when it comes to, sustainability? And what do you specifically consider your packaging in terms of recycling? Because, of course, if a package was not made with recycling in mind, it's difficult to recycle it. So, how do you guys combine these two? I think Michael would like to say something.
We don't have to think that plastic is an evil. It's not. Paper is not evil, wood is not evil, aluminium is not evil. Generally, none of the material is evil. The single use is the issue, and the biggest issue, which is you mentioned in the last sequence, which cannot be, but generally the waste does not become waste if we do not waste it. And that's exactly about the secondary idea, which I love about Smurfit Kappa and their products, and some other, of course, which deliver the idea, let's use the plastic bottle again, just refill it. It's so simple to do it. From my point of view as Industry 5.0 and the waste prevention on a global level, it's not the product. It's our mindset which turns a product into a waste, and our behavior, but not the product itself.
Yeah, I fully agree, and I have, let's say, the honor or the luck to work for Smurfit Kappa, because in Smurfit Kappa, the sustainability is the core of our business. Everything we do, we try to do in a sustainable way. And lucky us, because we have the sustainable product basically, because we work with paper. And we not only work with it, we make it, because we have forests, we have our own trees. We make the paper, and we make the corrugated out of the paper, and we make boxes out of corrugated. The material from the beginning is made to be recycled. Paper is the material with highest rate in Europe of collection and recycling. 90% of all the papers in Europe, all the paper as a material, is collected, and the majority of it is also recycled. And we contribute to this because we not only sell the boxes, so it's not only the outcome to give the paper out or away, but we also collect it, because we have also Smurfit Kappa recycling, and we use the recycled paper, of course, as a raw material for making paper again, making the recycled paper, the test liners. And the loop is closed, at least in a way we can secure it, or we can be sure it is. So internally, every paper waste, every gram, every ton of paper waste, which we as a Smurfit Kappa are creating, and we are, because imagine a box, you have holes in it. So the hole, you have to press it out. The customer doesn't want to deliver it. And the round shape, it's a waste, and we collect it. And every single waste from our production facilities goes back, is collected by Smurfit Kappa Recycling, and it's brought to our paper mills, recycling paper mills. So the loop is closed. So paper waste we are producing is going back to Smurfit Kappa and is being used to make paper. Because and if someone doesn't want to hear it or doesn't get it, to be able to have a paper, and nowadays or recently, it's the market is more focused on recycled paper, because the word recycled sounds to them like, oh, it's more sustainable because it's recycled. But the sustainability in this way doesn't have one unified correct answer. In this way, the recyclability of the paper is great, for sure. But the craft paper, the paper made from wood, is more sustainable in a way of carbon emissions, of the carbon footprint, because while being produced, we use the green energy, the biomass energy. So it has lower CO2 emissions. And to be able to produce recycled paper, there is no way or no other way than have the raw paper. the craft paper. There is no recycled paper without the virgin paper. And people need to understand this. So within Smurfit Kappa, there is a closed loop of how to manage the paper waste and how to make it a material or raw material again.
Jan mentioned that in Europe is the situation. I would be interested, David, how is it in Ghana and in Africa with the paper packaging and recycling and collection? Is it a common for paper or not yet?
For paper, it has been something that has been in the system for a very long time. And so people do recycle them, but the rates cannot be compared to plastics right now. Plastic is way at the front of recycling right now in Africa.
So generally, we can say that if there will be a player like Smurfit Kappa who will enter Africa, will offer an alternative to plastic, came with not just with a product, but with a solution as a closed loop, as Jan described, there is a huge potential because of course, the quantity of people in Africa is growing significantly. So as the World Bank predicts, it should triple the volume of waste till 2050 generally. And this is a shame. It's not a plan, it's a shame. And especially if there are players like Smurfit Kappa who can do it, who are already present on a global scale, just Africa is missing. So I think, Jan, this output is quite interesting for your bosses. So
Guys, I have to put Africa on the list.
Yes, please do. Consider Ghana first. We are up for this because, the good thing here is, as you said earlier, plastic is really cheap, right? Looking at its properties and the price that it comes with, no one thinks of any other thing. So, the good thing about Africa now is lots of the countries are developing at a very fast rate, which means they are coming in with industries. People are becoming more of entrepreneurs. So the lots of packaging are in the system. Meanwhile, the Europeans and the Americans are far ahead of, let's say, buying things online and then it's packaged home to you. Now, this is now developing in Africa. So, packaging has become a very huge part of the whole system. So, should we bring this concept in there? It's a very, very good location for, this kind of initiatives. And honestly, I wanted to ask you about this because it's a very let's say uncomfortable question to ask. Looking at what you're investing into, thinking more about innovative packaging and it being sustainable, it being recyclable, it being able to be reused, modified into other products. What do you generally think about what other people are putting out there and the image that you're creating in there? Does that affect your business in any way? And then a follow-up question will be that with all the effort you're putting into this, does it bring profits? Because yes, you're putting efforts into green energies, you're putting efforts into making your systems recyclable and sustainable. People have this concept that if we move away from certain products and certain way of making things, it's not going to bring profits. Is this making profits? And what do you generally think about other people and how they are behaving in this industry?
If I can, I would start with the second question. Is this behavior bringing profit? Good question. And our customers are asking completely the same question. Maybe they are not asking it, maybe they are answering it in advance, and their answer before we can say anything is no, it will not bring me the profit. The general opinion is that the sustainability is just costing more and doesn't bring the profit. And it's no matter whether we are talking about our customers and their businesses or our business and our potential profit. The important idea behind is that the profit is not only measurable in terms of money. You have to take into account that the profit for you as a human, as Michael Rada is, for you as a company, for you as an entrepreneur and as a businessman, of course you have to count or calculate your money. But the profit for you as a human, it's not only monetizable in this way, because the benefits for the planet, for the environment, for us as a humankind, for the future, this is something we have to take into account. And businesses are not doing that very often. But we try to translate it into the money talks. Because if they would not, or if we as a humankind would not think about the future, about the sustainable behavior, about the sustainable way of doing things, packaging, whatever, it will end up we will have to pay more for the things we are using now, for the same type of material, for the same processes. We will have to pay more. And in the business language, dear customer, if you will not step in the sustainable behavior, set up sustainable targets using sustainable materials, packaging, whatever, you will end up in 5 years without customers at all, because the new generations are more and more focusing. They are called millennials, yeah. Then these millennials are more and more focusing on sustainability. They pick the products, they pick the packaging based on how sustainable they are, how sustainably the company behaves, how sustainable their processes are. So it's not only let's say 50 years old guy deciding as a managing director, I will not go to sustainability because it will not bring me any money. No, it's about thinking in a way how your customers think. And 20 years guy really thinks about whether he buys a bottle of the classic old-fashioned PET or a bottle which is made from rPET, recycled PET. And based on this solution, which was, or this choice, which was made 2-3 years ago, yes, we as a company will go for rPET material. Now, 4 years after, you are losing your customer. Your customer you were counting on that you will have a margin, you will have a benefit from. So this is the benefit. It's kind of hidden potential, or in this way, and we try to translate it in this way to our customers.
I just correct one thing. Thank you, Jan, for naming me a human, but what I see on the screen, there are 3 humans talking, because we are understanding the connection between us and the planet. But speaking the business language, for 8 years, I'm asking my clients only one and single question. Do you want to generate waste or profit? And for 8 years, everyone, every CEO, every company, even every cleaning lady will answer, I prefer profit instead of waste. And what I am happy that finally, after so long time, and with the help of Smurfit Kappa, with the help of Kamath, and with the help of many, the ideas are transferred into reality. And finally, even the European Commission Green Deals and so on, which are partly just the marketing tools, but we turn it into reality. If you buy a package made out of from Kappa for a client who is environmental and sustainable, open eyes guy, you will get a sustainable package and you will behave sustainable way with it. So even the package educate the client to behave better. And this is why, because we have to use the, I call it on the ground minds in the Industry 5.0. This is everything what we have. It can be box, it can be pencil, it can be whatever. And every single item, it's on the ground mind. Let's use it. Don't throw it away. Because if we throw it away, there is only one industry which benefit from, and this is the waste industry. And finances, of course. But the waste industry is the first one. They jump in 5 years from number 5 to number 3, and it's expected that next year it will be the second most profitable industry in the world. So only the war industry should be more profitable than the waste industry. That's something which is very sad. And I am happy that we deliver something what you can touch. And if you can touch it, it's not just your brain, but it's the, I don't know how it's called officially. There is some name. Generally, it's connected, the touching, it's connected with your brain, and you will remember much more better.
So let's do some market. So how can people find you? How can people work with you? What kind of products do you guys make packages for?
I will just slightly correct your question. Please, Jan, tell us on which packaging we cannot see you, because otherwise the list, David, will be too long and we will have spent the whole weekend in here.
Good point, Michael. Good point, because definitely this list of the packaging areas or types we cannot deliver will be much shorter than what we can deliver, because the range of the products we are capable of packing is so wide. It's from the food and beverages to crankshaft for a tractor, for example. We can pack a car as well. It's so wide, so I will not name them. I will not even name the industries. But we have a lot of specialties like bag in box. We can, in a way, replace a bottle. And we have a plastic bag. Yes, I admit it, we have a plastic in a box, but the way the bag in box is transported is way more sustainable than to transport either plastic or glass bottles because of the air shipped, etc., etc.
You can refill the bag. Not too many work with it, but I tested in here, and you can refill the bag and use it again and again and again. So just this is one point which I tested here in one of the projects.
Anytime I visit Michael, I think we are going to Smurfit.
For sure, it's
Yeah, why not? You are
it's
We are
close
coming to
here,
see
so
you.
it's not far.
welcome. Yeah, and it brought me an idea into mind. Why not to make the bag in box, for example, a globetrotter? So once you empty it, you will immediately fill it and send it somewhere else. But it's about, again, how to bring the raw material, the product, into your place.
Generally, cleaning of the bag is one of the issues, because at the moment the valve which is connected is not connected as a double. You can use it as a double way, but it's not. But we are discussing it with the producers already.
Just close the discussion about bag in box with using bag in box and replacing plastic containers, jars, whatever. We are saving 80% of plastics used in terms of the weight of the material. And how to reach us? Yeah, it's very simple, very simple. We have either a global web page, which is smurfitkappa.com, or local web pages, smurfitkappa.cz, for example, in Czech Republic. On that page, you will find not only the packaging, not only the sustainability goals, for example, because we have new goals, but also kind of a contact form. You can get in touch. Or we are very active on LinkedIn. We have a corporate account on LinkedIn, Smurfit Kappa. We have also colleagues as me or many other colleagues that are very active on LinkedIn. So just reach us on LinkedIn and get in touch, and we can start a discussion. Maybe not as a supplier and customer, but as two guys which would like to share ideas not only on sustainability but on business, on products, whatever. Also Facebook, again, the corporate one and the local ones, which are more these pages or this marketing channel or this channel, communication channel, is focused rather on the local communities. We are not selling through Facebook yet, maybe, but we are in touch with the community. We have the followers, which are of course our customers in that locations, but many other which are members of the local communities, and we care a lot about the local communities, not only supporting them in terms of money, but also in terms of the material. We deliver a lot of corrugated to kindergartens, to school, to local authorities, to institutions, and not only the final, like trash bins or boxes, but also just sheets and let's create, dear kids, yeah, to support creativity in the neighborhood and potentially to grow up a new designer in the neighborhood.
I think Jan he is all the time forgetting something. So
Yeah,
generally,
yeah.
uh,
I didn't know about that, but you are reminding me.
he forget that if you go to generally many packaging competitions, design competitions, you will find Smurfit Kappa there as well. Usually in the top position, frequently in the winner. This is one of the point where you can find really great, not ideas, they transfer. What I like about Smurfit Kappa is that they do not just deliver the ideas. They deliver the product, they test it in a real business environment, and then after that they say, hey, we just made this, so you can use it. And that's so great because you can touch it. You can go to the next store and you just pick it up there because they do not promise, they deliver the result. And this is one of the big differences.
Yeah, you are right. This year, 6 World Star Awards were awarded to Smurfit Kappa. Somehow it happened that 5 of these 6 Smurfit Kappa awards were from Czech Republic. 5 World Star Awards in Czech Republic. For the first time ever, we had more than 3. For the first time ever, we have 5 within the Smurfit Kappa, all entries. And it's like, wow. And the funny thing is that, of course, there is a process how to get to the World Star, because firstly, you have to be recognized as the national winner of the national packaging competition. And the funny thing is, when I am asking within the Czech and Slovak region, dear designers, what do you have? Which design should be applicable for the national packaging competition? And they, as we all are, the professional blindness, because we see, no, this is a normal box, normal box, normal box. We don't have anything special. Then you have to change the point of view. You have to watch the box from the customer perspective, from the end user perspective. And there are 2 or 3 boxes. Last year, there were 3 or 2 boxes which all the designers were, oh, it's normal one, nothing special. And I said, well, but it's for the first time we are using this way of closing or reclosing. And this is so simple. It will win. I promise you, it will win. No. Yes. Obal Roku, which is the packaging of the year, and consequently even the World Star. So it's about to step in the shoes of our customers, of the audience, of the other side of the issue of the problem. And once being there, now you see the broader horizons. You see the different pains they have, different aspects. Not only will it fit for our corrugated machine. This is so enriching, I would say.
You get it as a customer in your hands and you get your creativity open without writing scientific texts and without doing anything. You just get a box. You say, wow, that's crazy. That's really good. I will buy the next one. And there is no need to be colored or whatever. No. Jan just yesterday placed on LinkedIn, I think it was yesterday, a comparison between brown box, generally a package in the shelf, and all the standards colored and so on. Only their package step out of all the others. All the others has been just colored mix of whatever, but your eyes just get exactly the one. And the great about it, the next time you can refill it again because there is no print on it. You can put another product in it. Just the size of the product has to be the same, but why not?
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on the show today. It's been a very amazing session, and thank you, Jan, for taking us through your products and your company and the operations and things that you have to teach the industry, actually. And I think that our conversations are still going to continue even after this, because there is a great opportunity for us to be able to impact the others, not just through business, but also through your ideas and innovative efforts that you put into the products that you do, because it's not just about wrapping up products, but it's really about putting, a lot of efforts into what you wrap up with a product. What else can we use them for? And giving it a second, third, fourth, and so on lives. So thank you so much for coming on the Green Living Chats, and thank you so much for contributing to this segment of how Industry 5.0 will look in the packaging industry. And you're a perfect example of this sustainable new change in the industry. Michael, do you have something else to say? We can wrap up.
My electric unicycle is charged already, so probably not. I will say once, it is needed that similar talks will be accessible to all, and many industries do the same. Stop hiding behind the company's secrets, which everybody knows, but let's reveal the ways how to do it. Because I think the same strategy like Kappa has to work with their employees to rise up their awareness, including the delivery of the results, can be used in wood processing industries, food industry, it doesn't matter where, in hospital, everywhere. Because our minds are generally looking very similar. So the brains inside this something looks similar. The only difference is the way how we use it. And if we go for one goal, as I said, and I would be happy if it will be the wasteless world, then we will do it. We do not have to wait till 2035 until some other stamp will come on a paper. No, today, right now, everyone who will listen to this conversation, who will watch it, from that moment, he or she changed their mind, and he or she will deliver. And if you continue, which I will be very happy, David, and so as Jan continue on their policy, we will, even us, we with Jan, we are almost in the same age category. You are much younger than us, but even us, we will see the wasteless world. You will live in it, and our children will. And that's the point which I would like to say. Thanks to all who really start to change and do, not just talk, but deliver the results, not the promises. So thank you. Thank you both. It was great Saturday morning for me.
Yeah, indeed. I have to also say thank you for being here or letting me be here and discussing with you, because it was really amazing to have such a chat. And let me just conclude with one simple sentence. Let's make the packaging waste extinct. That's so simple.
It's a great sentence.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Jan. Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Green Living Chat. Our goal here is to discuss emerging environmental issues and challenges and find possible solutions to educate the public. So why don't you get in touch with us on all our social media platforms at Kamath Solutions, or visit our website www.kamethsolutions.com, and we'll be excited to hear from you and engage with you. Consider giving us a star rating on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcast. See you on the next episode. Until then, live green.